It all started when I was living in Switzerland, enjoying the usual outdoors activities, hiking, biking, running and swimming, but there was a gap in my knowledge. Once in a roller skating event, another skater told me that when she's not roller skating, she likes to hit the trails riding a muni. A muni? What's a muni? That's when I learned that mountain unicycling is a thing. She takes her unicycle and goes for a ride on the trails in a wood. Now that sounds something worth trying. So I got myself a unicycle. It was a simple 20-inch unicycle that I figured was good for learning the basics, though it was not for the trails. I started from zero and found out that it was difficult to balance on the uni, even when holding on to a wall or a fence. How are you supposed to find a balance when the only contact with the ground is a tiny sliver of a round wheel? This is me tracking my daily progress. First, I needed to get used to sit upright and keep my center of mass directly above the axle. That is the balanced position. Then, when pedaling, shift my balance a tiny bit forwards and get going. I found a fence that was exactly the right height, so that I could keep my back straight and torso balanced without any sideways movement. I had to practice both sides because I wasn't exactly balanced. It was more difficult when I was holding the fence with my left hand than with my right hand. Practicing daily, I was surprised that already on day 6, I was able to let go of the fence for short distances. I began thinking that it could be possible to actually learn the skill. As you can see, my form was not too good. The unicycle is leaning back even when I am going forward. That means I'm not sitting straight in a balanced position. But I was still able to let go of the fence for longer moments. The next surprise was that moving away from the fence was so much more difficult than riding along the fence without touching it. Losing the safe support was just a psychological barrier, and that felt frustrating. If I can do this next to a fence, why not in the open? I kept practicing and focused on keeping my upper body from moving from side to side. Still, it was my legs that got most tired after each session. That's probably because my form was not good and I didn't really put my weight on the seat, but kept trying to balance using the strength of my legs. On day 10, I was able to ride diagonally from one corner of my playground to another. One silly sounding tip that helped me was to flail my arms deliberately when riding. I'm still not sure why it helped, but I was rather happy with the progress. After 2 weeks of practice, I was able to ride short distances on a flat surface. This was the moment when unicycling started being fun. Now my time was not spent so much falling and remounting, but actually riding the unicycle and working on my form. And this was also when the kids seeing me started going, "Wow!" Turning was the challenge I tackled next. Starting slow and wide, I worked on being able to turn both left and right. Turning to right was much easier in the beginning. Then going figure eights and tighter turns. Of course, I quickly realized that there is much more to it. I would need to learn to free mount, to idle, to hop and jump and so on. Thanks for watching and see you later.